In today's video, I'm going to share with you a self-hypnosis process to help you attract success, money, and abundance into your life. Now, these skills and techniques I'm going to share with you are very, very simple to use. I've used them for myself to help generate millions and millions of dollars doing what I love. And I've also trained thousands and thousands of people how to use these same exact techniques. So this is really, really powerful when you apply it, okay? So let's dive in. So the first thing that you want to do when going into self-hypnosis is you want to look up, okay? Now the reason this is so important is because when we look up, it signals to our brain that it is time to relax and begin to start to go to sleep. Now this is why when people are sleeping and you open up their eyelids, their eyes are rolled into the back of their head. It's because they're in REM sleep. Now we can produce this same sort of sleepiness just by simply looking up, okay? Now the second thing you want to do is you want to pick a spot, okay, to focus on. Now why is this important? Well, you see, when our eyes are moving around, okay, what happens is our brain is having to process all kinds of new information, right? The shapes, the colors, the sizes, the textures of your environment. So when we can focus on a point or on one specific object, what it'll do is it allows your brainwave cycles to slow down so you can go into trance. Now the third thing, now this one's optional, however, these two you definitely want to do, is you can actually start to look back and forth. Now, I would only really do this if you have a specific point to focus on, and I'll share with you why, okay? Now, this is kind of an old hypnosis stereotype where you go to a hypnotist and the hypnotist sits in his office and he's got a pocket watch and he'll hold it above the person's head like this and they'll go back and forth like that, right? And they'll say something like, "You're getting sleepy." Okay, wow, I'm already starting to get sleepy. Hit the like button if you felt yourself getting a little sleepy there. So the reason that this is done is because when we hold an object above our head, we're looking up, we pick a spot to focus on, in other words, the stopwatch or the timepiece, and then when we look back and forth, okay, what happens is there's these little micro muscles in our eyelids that we very rarely use. And because we don't use them that much, they get tired and weak very, very quickly. So as a matter of fact, if you want, you can pause this video and test this right now. Just look up and then go back and forth. Like look up like this, not left to right, but look up like this. And just pause this video and do that for a few seconds. And notice that your eyelids start to get heavy and you start to almost feel tired, okay? Matter of fact, do me a favor, comment, hype this video if you actually did it and you started to go back and forth and you felt your eyelids get heavy, okay? Hype this video. So again, this one is optional, okay? Now the fourth step you're gonna do is hold your breath, okay? So what does that mean exactly? Well, let's imagine for a second, okay? Let's pretend that somebody else is sitting at home on their couch and they're all depressed about something that happened in their past, or maybe they're even worried and they're feeling anxious about something that's coming up in their future, okay? Well, now let's imagine that this person is sitting there and they're worried. They're like, "Oh my God, my life sucks and this is gonna happen and this is gonna happen." And then all of a sudden somebody breaks into their house, okay? What would happen to them feeling about depressed of the past and anxious about the future thing they were thinking about? It would all go away and they would become so present in the moment because they have to deal with the threat at hand, AKA the person breaking into their house. You know, if you've ever been in a life or death situation, you will experience that you become hyper present, your vision gets clearer, everything begins to slow down. And it's the most present that you may ever experience in your life. Now let's imagine for a second, this person becomes very present, forget about the past, forget about the future, and then they deal with the threat at hand. So they neutralize the threat, the person's no longer, trying to rob them or steal anything from them. How are they gonna feel afterwards? Well, they're gonna feel a huge sense of relief, right? They're gonna go, "Oh my God, thank God that is over." Well, now, guess what happens when you hold your breath to the point of where you feel like, okay, I need to hurry up and breathe or else I'm gonna die, okay? Here's what happens. if while you're in this moment, you're looking up and maybe you're having thoughts about the past, something you regret or something that happened to you, or maybe you're having anxious feelings about the future, something that you have coming up. Well, when we hold our breath and we hold it long enough, what eventually happens is our brain starts to go, hey, Dom, let's forget about the past. Let's forget about the future. We need to become present in the moment right now and begin to breathe. Because if we don't breathe, we are going to die, AKA handle the threat at hand. And again, the attacker breaking into your house, you forget about everything else and you deal with that at hand. So what this does is it creates this deep, deep sense of relaxation. Again, a matter of fact, if you want to just test this right now, here's what you do. Think about a problem you have, something in the past, something in the future, and then hold your breath. And I want you to pay, and you can do this with your eyes closed, but you hold your breath and just pay attention to what happens with those thoughts. Pay attention to what happens with your energy. And what you'll find is that all of a sudden, you don't care about the past or the future, and you become present in the moment so you can breathe, okay? So if you'd like, you can pause the video and do that as well, and you will absolutely feel the amazing experience from that, okay? Then next, you're going to close your eyes and count backwards, okay? Now, first of all, let's talk about how this actually works, okay? So when we close our eyes, our brainwave cycles slow even slower. They get even slower, and we start to go into alpha state, and ultimately we get to theta, okay? Now, when we're in alpha and theta, that's where we're in that hypnotic state where we can start to program our subconscious mind to create the wealth, the abundance of things that we want, okay? So by closing our eyes, again, we're shutting out the outside world. Our brain is no longer having to process the shape, sizes, colors, textures of the environment, and you go within, okay? Now, the reason why we start counting backwards is for two things. Number one, doing things that are repetitive. And by the way, I recommend starting at 100, okay? It's 99, 98. Doing things that are repetitive over and over again, like counting, will automatically allow you to go into trance. Okay, come back out of trance now. Let me know if you felt that little shift there just by doing that language pattern. So by doing a repetitive motion, right, counting, this is why often when we're driving, we go into trance, right? Your mind wanders off, is because you're doing a repetitive movement. So number one, counting backwards, doing the repetition will put you into trance. And number two, when our subconscious mind processes everything symbolically, okay? So what that means is, if you think about it for a second, if we're counting down, okay, what does that symbolize to the subconscious mind? Well, it symbolizes that you're going down, right? You're going into the underneath, down below into the subconscious mind. It also will start to slow your breathing down. So imagine if somebody's counting up, you're starting to almost feel like you're coming up and you're feeling awake, you're feeling alive. Wherever you're counting slowly backwards and going down, it allows you to tap into the subconscious mind, okay? And the last thing is to give yourself affirmations, okay, of abundance, all right? Now, this works for anything. This will work for your health, your relationships, doesn't matter. So when you're in this state, you would say something to the effect of, large amounts of money flow to me easily and quickly. Large amounts of money flow to me easily and quickly. By the way, just by you listening to me saying this right now, you're already getting the benefits of this self-hypnosis, okay? So again, large amounts of money are coming to me easily and quickly. Large amounts of money are coming to me easily and quickly. And you're just going to repeat this for a couple of minutes. Even if you just do it for a minute, what's happening is, because you're in that alpha and theta state, you're starting to program your subconscious mind to start to create this in your actual reality, okay? And then step 7 is just repeat, okay? Repeat this once a day, every day for 15, 20, even 30 days. If you miss a couple days, that's okay. The reason why is because every time you do this, you're starting to create new neural pathways in the brain. In addition to that, you're allowing yourself to start to practice going into that alpha and theta state. When we're in the alpha and theta state, that's when we can really send out our intentions, okay? Now guys, if you like this, I'm actually gonna do a live hypnosis session. It's free. I do this a couple times per month. So if this is something where you're like, Dom, I really love this stuff, what if I could experience it with you live, okay? There's gonna be a link down in the description for you to register. Now, if you can't make the date, just register anyway so you can get information for the next one. But again, you'll be able to experience this live. So if you wanna program your mind to create more success, have more happiness, more joy, more peace into your life, click the link down in the description and register for the free live hypnosis session. So I don't know how much longer I'm gonna do this, so take advantage of what you can. And who knows, maybe you click on this and it's not there anymore. So I don't know. So click the link down in the description and we'll see you guys in the next video.